reason why people are mad, or this is the reason why they should be mad. There are these people that build these amazing companies on the backs of a marketplace that rewards entrepreneurship that is the United States of America. And then they make all this money, and then they find ways to not pay taxes on it. They move the headquarters of their companies to other countries so they could avoid taxes. And they move the manufacturing to other countries so it removes jobs from America. So they use us and this amazing system that we've built to make God knows how much money. And then the second they cannot pay back into it, they don't. And I don't believe this bullshit about like, oh, we provide jobs. It's like you provide jobs because you can profit off of that. You're not doing that out of benevolence. So I have an issue when you're already, Amazon paid no money in tax last year.
Yes, I do that.
And you're okay with that?
No.
Okay.
We've been saying tax the wealthy.
So if you
that's why no, by the way,
you're about to make my point.
No, by the way, I'm with you. I'm with you. But that's why nobody wanted people to vote for Donald Trump, because they knew Donald Trump was going to he was going to make more tax breaks for the wealthy. That was the whole point.
You know that this was set up during the Biden administration, right?
I'm with you. But
if you think that the Democrats aren't also letting corporations get away with not paying taxes. I'm not even talking about the wealthy. This is the problem.
Sure, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
I don't care who screams and who does it if both of them are letting it get away with it.
I'm with you, but who's the party that was screaming tax the wealthy?
Okay, so Democrats, you like that they lie to you more.
No, but why? But you can't complain about what you voted for.
I'm just saying, tuck you into bed with your lies. If you want to get tucked into bed with the lies, that's fine.
Sure, but you still can't complain for what you voted for.
I can complain about whatever I want. I'm American.
That is true, but
that's what
Republicans do not care about taxing the wealthy.
Neither do Democrats. None of them do. And it's not about just taxing the wealthy. Because
so why are we voting?
So what, we supposed to not vote at all?
Maybe. I don't fucking know anymore, bro.
Here's the thing. Also, like the things that you vote for, like you don't have to support every single thing that a candidate or a party does.
Yes, that is true.
So just because you vote for one thing doesn't mean you're okay with some fuck shit that they do. The point that I'm trying to make, and this has been happening for decades, is like there are corporations in America that we know those corporations don't pay tax. Do you know that, Jamil, right? Jamil, when he works abroad, he had to pay taxes abroad in the country he works and in America while he was working abroad.
Do you know how many times we've argued about, not even argued, how many times we've said this on this podcast?
So why the fuck is Apple allowed to keep tons of fucking money out there in China and not pay any taxes on it? Why are they allowed to set up dummy corporations in Ireland where they don't have to pay tax? That's stealing from the American people. So you're stealing from us.
You are 100% correct, but,
I'm always right.
Welcome to 2015. This conversation has been happening
Why don't you
forever.
tell me that? Why don't you tell me that shit, bro?
This is not a new conversation. All we want is the wealthy to pay their fair share of taxes.
That's when I was making sure Democrats would be in office, and I did, and nothing happened.
Listen,
that's when I was voting for Democrats. And they just keep letting them do it. And I'll be honest, I'm pissed at Trump. Matter of fact, and I'm pissed at this whole tariff shit. If you're gonna remove the tariffs for Apple on the phones and the iPads and all this kind of shit.
Why?
Let me tell you why I'm pissed. Because now, the businesses, the mom and pop businesses that actually might rely on those goods from that are being manufactured in China are going to get clipped when Apple is the one that has been making trillions of dollars off the fact that there are next to like no tariffs and taxes on their goods coming over here. So now they continue to make trillions of dollars while they moved all their manufacturing out of this country, while they move all their headquarters out of this country so they don't even have to pay taxes on it. So the mom and pop people who are getting their goods from China, they still got to pay taxes. Matter of fact, they're paying probably proportionally way more taxes than Amazon is paying or Apple's paying, and you're going to punish them and then let Apple get off scot-free? That's some fuck shit if you ask me.
You're absolutely right, but where have you been the last 10 to 15 years?
Voting for Democrats. And see where it got me?
I don't even know if this is, I'm going to be honest with you, this isn't a party thing. This is an America being a fucked up capitalist society thing.
This is why
capitalism ruling everything around me.
This is why you need guardrails for capitalism 100%. But to me, it's important that we recognize these figures because there's a lot of these like celebrity CEOs and they walk around and they have a lot of fun and they send spaceships into the sky while they're doing certain business practices that are literally stealing money from the people and the country that allowed their business to thrive. There's no Amazon in these other countries because they're way more restrictive, right? Like you cannot create these companies in other countries because they're so fucking restrictive. Facebook can't be created in other countries because they don't believe in sharing the data in the way that Americans just let that data go everywhere. So we have this marketplace that allows entrepreneurship to thrive. And then the second they make billions of dollars. They find a way to extract that wealth from the very marketplace that allowed them to thrive. That should be stealing.
Yes.
That should be looked at as theft. And there should be, and I know this is difficult, and I know taxing rich people is very hard.
It shouldn't be though.
It's not hard to tax us.
That's my point.
Like,
Yeah,
and that's the other
by
thing.
the way,
We get looped into this with those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
We're getting taxed
by the way,
efficiently.
that's not even my point.
Really efficiently.
That's not even my point. That is majority of Americans' point. Tax the goddamn wealthy. Tax the top.
But they don't make any money. They go, oh, I don't have any income, so you can't tax me.
They write the laws themselves.
Well, I wouldn't even go so far. Yes, I think they do use lobbyists to do that. But essentially what they do is they say, we have income tax, right? They tax us on our income. Those people, they go, Apple, the guy from Apple, not Tim Cook, Steve Jobs was making $1 a year. He's like, just give me all my money in stock options. And then what they do is they take loans out against their stock options. And loans are what? Not taxable. So you get, actually you're making double money when you think about it.
I agree with all that, but I would say, isn't this more reason that someone like Elon Musk, who did not pay any income tax in 24, I believe, shouldn't be the guy in charge of Doge? If he's not carrying his fair share, should he be the one making decisions on who gets cut from the federal?
Not only did he not pay income tax, majority of his money comes from the fucking federal government.
So why is he the one?
So technically we're paying Eli.
Yo,
Elon.
Not only him, Walmart. Like, why the fuck am I paying all the Walmart employees?
Sure.
Like, why are you paying them? Why are you letting them work 38 hours so you don't have to pay them full time and don't have to give them benefits and do this other shit? So the American government has to step in and pay for half of it. Like, these are the type of things that we have to look at these people, and we have to understand who these people are and the families. We should know like what they look like in their names, and they should be publicly shamed for this.
Oh, they do. Why do you think that all of these CEOs after the United Healthcare CEO got gunned down was hiring mad security? Because that is what people are starting to see. They're starting to put these people's names on their wall and say, these are the people that are motherfucking keeping me from having free healthcare. These are the people that are keeping me from having free education in this country.
I will say this. I think it is a natural human instinct to like try to hoard your resources. I think that like if we didn't have money, we would do it with fucking coconuts. Like, I think that's what humans do. And that's why, and I don't want to remove this amazing marketplace for entrepreneurship that we have here in America.
To your point, I love the capitalist system, but it needs to have guardrails.
Yes, that's it. It's just, and the guardrail is not to stop innovation. The guardrail is to stop a business from literally stealing money from the place that allowed the business to thrive.
That's right.
I consider when you create tons of revenue and you move your headquarters to a dummy office in Ireland or whatever the fuck it was giving you these tax benefits, I consider that theft. Because if I took my money and I moved it to an offshore account in the Bahamas or something like that, I would go to prison because I would be not paying taxes, right? That would be considered fraud. But when it would be tax evasion. But when they do it, it's considered good business practice.
Yeah, because they create laws for them to be able to do it.
They should be looked at as if they are stealing money from the American people. You can move your manufacturing overseas. I'm okay with that. As long as you make all that extra revenue, as long as the American people get that tax benefit from all that extra revenue.
And we would pay less in taxes.
That's like us. That's what I'm saying. Not even like us. The people making under $50,000 a year, under $100,000 a year. You could tax us fine.
They really hit us, though.
They really hit us, but at the same time, nobody feels bad for us, as they shouldn't, because we're in a very fortunate situation. I'm
not as fortunate as fucking Bezos and Elon Musk,
but that's also the concern with you've talked about the idea that we might do no taxes on $150,000 and under.
I like that.
Okay, but if that happens, what you're going to get is the bottom's paying no taxes.
Why
the top is paying
all that dick they take? They shouldn't have to pay no taxes. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's fair. That's right off for sure. But
I'm serious. If you were bottom taking all that
I just got it.
Yeah, come on now. Be honest with you. Why should they have to take taxes? We got to take their tax dollars and they take. Come on.
You also can't incentivize somebody to make less than 150 grand, because let's say you tax nothing under 150 and someone's making 160 getting taxed at 30%. They're like, all right, fuck it. I got to find a way to make under 150.
Oh, it's like tanking the NBA. I'm not going to, let me just go 0-15 down the stretch. But the problem is basically the bottom, whatever you want to call it, the middle class, which is basically on its last legs, but which isn't important to have a middle class in the country. They're going to take the entire tax burden in the entire country then, and that's going to absolutely destroy the middle class, which is something you don't want.
All I'm saying is, like, if you are a corporation and you move manufacturing overseas to the detriment of the people in your country so that you can profit more, the bare minimum that you should be expected to do is be taxed on those new profits, just like anybody else here. When they make more money, they get taxed more, so that we can use that money. And I'm not saying the government is efficient at all, but at least so that we could use that money, hopefully, to rebuild some sort of industry infrastructure for those people that now no longer have jobs because we've moved those jobs overseas.
I was thinking about this.
Is that a
can we
crazy
cap?
sentiment?
Can we cap CEO salaries? What's a fair number to keep people incentivized?
No, I don't believe in the cap in the CEO salary.
But then they're going to keep hoarding the coconuts.
Well, the problem I have with the CEO,
not if we put the taxation.
The problem I have with CEO salaries is when, for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of times when the stock market's crashing shit, these CEOs still get their bonuses. You shouldn't still get your bonuses if your company isn't performing or if the stock market is crashed. Why should you still get a bonus?
You shouldn't get a bonus if you get bailed out.
You definitely shouldn't get a bonus
if you get bailed out by the American people, you're not getting a bonus.
Yes, it's like, where's the bonus?
So listen, I think these are basic things that, because the tax laws are so sophisticated in this country, and they're way too sophisticated for a guy like me to even understand. And it is hard to catch these motherfuckers. They spend tens of millions of dollars a year on tax attorneys that specifically attack the
greatest
tax
example
code.
of that?
Say again?
Who's the greatest example of that?
Is Trump the greatest example? No, and listen, I think absolutely go after it 100%. I'm not against it. I just feel like this is a bipartisan issue that we don't need to be polarized about. Like poor Republicans, poor Democrats, middle-class Republicans, middle-class Democrats, we can go at both parties and put pressure, and we don't have to make it a, look, the Republicans bad thing. This is an American thing.
Well, it is an American thing, and and it is interesting what you said about the Democrats earlier, because it is true, right? Like whenever Democrats talk about, taxing the wealthy, we've always said for years, you're lying. You're not going to really tax the wealthy.
You ain't going to do shit.
It sounds like a good talking point.
You're going to tax Charlamagne and Andrew, but you ain't going to tax the real wealthy.
That's right. That's right.
You're going to say you're going to do it, and then you're going to go and tax us, and then those guys giving you hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to do fucking nothing.
$100 million to help write the laws and tell you shut the fuck up. Now, I will say this.
Biden did extend the Trump tax cuts.
He did, huh?
He extended it. He could have just let it expire.
Of course he extended it, because those listen, corporate America is all those politicians' daddies.
I want Apple paying tax.
The wealthy is all those politicians' daddies. That's why it's so wild to me to hear Democrats talk about oligarchy and everything. The oligarchy has always existed. You just have somebody like Elon Musk who's front and center with it now. The oligarchy has always existed. Yeah. It's just that now all of those tech guys wanted to sit at the inauguration.
Used to be the
Rockefellers,
used to be the Kennedys,
George Soros.
What you mean? These motherfuckers.
You can talk about right now. George Soros right now.
Absolutely. He's the left-wing version of it. 100%.
Like, oligarchies always existed.
Which way do you guys prefer? Seeing the oligarchs do their thing in public like an Elon, or the behind-the-scenes stuff?
I like seeing it because we at least know who it is. Like, look at all the shit that Elon's getting, that there's all these people like the Walton family that owns Walmart. We don't even know what they look like. We don't even know what they look like.
I don't see the point. You know why?
I want to know what you look like.
But that's.
I want you to feel the shame.
But here's the thing. Schultz. Imagine you're a Walton. That's bad business. Because everybody shops at Walmart. That's why I never understood Elon Musk's angle. Well, Elon, the majority of people probably buying your electric cars are fucking liberals who believe in climate change.
That's the rise and fall of the celebrity CEO. The benefit of the celebrity CEO is you could do a lot of promotion for your company. The negative is if you are viewed negatively, it impacts the company.
But that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to be front and center?
Because it could benefit your company. It's just like having a mascot for your company that's really cool. It makes the company look
really cool. It don't benefit your company regardless of what side you're on. Because you're going to piss off somebody.
But he just became polarizing. Like before, when Elon Musk was doing the electric vehicles, before he got political, he was just a superstar celebrity that everybody wanted to invest in. Whatever he touched turned to gold.
He's a genius. He's like the Tony Stark of our time.
Exactly.
Why not stay in that role and just continue to manipulate whoever you want to?
He got political. That's the thing.
But stay out of politics. You can be political and still be behind the scenes.
And that's what I wonder if he goes, this was a mistake.
I think
I don't know.
I would think so.
But it does frustrate me. Like those types of things frustrate me. And it's like, I understand the feeling of like, how do you save more money and do that stuff for your business? I get it. But like, I wonder if we have these businesses that are making billions, trillions of dollars, right? I wonder if there's just like a bare minimum tax burden that you have to pay. Even if you can
have to.
Like, if you have X amount of employees, you have to pay bare minimum 20 billion, whatever it is, or 10 billion. I don't even know what the fucking numbers of these.
It's a flat rate. You should have to pay something, especially if you claim to care about people.
That's it.
If our tax dollars are supposed to go to programs and infrastructure, why would you have a problem paying that?
And the government is going to fuck it up. But at least I don't resent you for getting around the system that I'm not allowed to get around. You know what I'm saying? The government will find a way to be inefficient about it, the same way that we don't got a fucking rail line in California, the same way that they don't have the railway in Hawaii, the same way that the BQE is still fucked up over here. God. The government will find a way to fuck it up, yes.
Yeah.
But bare minimum, you're in this with us.
I do have an idea though. If you don't want them to pay taxes, they should have to donate a certain amount of money.
They'll just run it through
their own corporations. That's the thing.
But no, they should have to donate it to
a charity they're not related to?
Exactly.
They'll take over
Program,
whatever the charity
they should have to.
They'll have the charity owned under a trust.
But this has been the American philosophy, especially among the Republicans since Reagan, which is what we're talking about is trickle-down effect, right?
Trickle-down economics.
The whole philosophy is if you handcuff these companies and if you handcuff these CEOs, they won't be incentivized or they won't have the ability to create jobs and to create businesses, and then that will trickle down negatively because there won't be as much jobs created and much money in circulation. And if you give them free reign, it'll trickle down positively. They'll create so much wealth and so much money and put so much stuff in circulation.
Well, we know that's not true, though.
Well, of course, I think trickle down is bullshit, but I think we're at the moment.
Sorry, go.
That's it. I hope we're at a moment when people see people hold on to wealth.
Yes.
I don't believe that trickle down is bullshit. If these corporations are not using tax loopholes to avoid taxation, trickle down is bullshit when they're avoiding the taxation process that funds this whole marketplace. And I think that's the issue here. It's like
pay your share and then be greedy after you pay your share.
Yeah, be as greedy as you want, as long as you're paying the piper.
Right.
That'd be awesome. What they do is their greed, which is a human thing. It's not specific to them. If we were in that position, we would do it, of course.
Yeah.
And a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders. But like, I think that if they were paying what is quote unquote their fair share, yes, maybe it would stop growth a little bit. But you know what it might inspire?
Talk that liberal talk, bro.
No.
Talk that.
When you were down,
We're talking a little socialism here. We're talking a little socialism,
talk, bro. Come on, young
socialism.
Bernie. Let's go, young Bernie.
I love Bernie.
Let's go.
You know I love Bernie.
You fuck with Bernie.
I've been Bernie since day one. I love that shit.
Come on, Andrew O'Course. What's her name?
Ocasio-Cortez. I'm AOC. I'm AOC. But you know I've always been about this shit.
No, that's true.
You know, I just don't want them to cut off the kids' school, man. Is that?
But
that's fair.
You guys keep focusing on taxes. What about wages and salaries? Like no one.
That's another thing.
I think that's even bigger than the avoiding of the taxes.
I think
CEO pays keep going up.
Can we ask a real
salaries
question?
stay stagnant?
You're right.
Yeah.
Andrew's right. We're all right. Are we ever going to really elect officials that are going to actually do those things? And is corporate America going to ever get out of these politicians' pockets enough for a politician to really be able to cook?
There. And then
you think so?
Then your Democrats stole that shit from my boy Bernie. We're almost there. And then you with your hot sauce and Hillary and all whatever. Look at your hot sauce. Oh, you're so cool. You try to give her saxophone.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. You're right.
Thank you.
I've said that already. I'm on record saying that 2016, there was an organic groundswell for Bernie Sanders. And people are even coming out for Bernie now, but in 2016, there was an organic groundswell for Bernie Sanders. Just like in 2008, it was an organic groundswell for Barack Obama, and we should have went where the people went. The only reason I didn't get behind Bernie the way I probably should have when the Killer Mikes and Nina Turners and everybody was telling me to was because they told me that he couldn't win. That was the sentiment from I'm just talking about the media.
Oldest trick in the book.
Was saying he can't win, he'll never win, blah, he won't win.
He said about Trump.
He won't win when the system is rigged.
But it was time for that. It was time for a senator from Vermont who's not really a DC person. It was time for the executive producer, celebrity prince. People wanted something different.
Drastic change.
And we went too far with the drastic change, if you ask me, but yeah, Bernie should have been the guy. But it is what it is.
How about, you want to know some real shit? If Bernie was at least the nominee, even if he lost to Trump, which he might have lost to Trump is like an incredibly engaging personality, and usually the person with more charm is going to win. But Bernie's policies and the way that they touch the working class people of the United States of America would have pulled Trump into a position where he would also have to address those working class people. It would have changed Trump's policies to mirror Bernie's in a way.
Bernie
and
shit
that
ain't even-
alone could have helped.
Bernie not even radical, bro. Free healthcare, education, maybe a universal basic income.
No,
Like,
that's
what-
crazy. You're acting crazy right now.
Well, what's the difference? Okay, let me ask you a question.
It takes time to get to these things.
Sure,
like,
but what's the difference between a universal basic income and freaking stimulus checks? Or Elon Musk saying, hey, we're going to find all of these savings from Doge and give out $5,000 to the American people. What's the difference?
Well, the idea of universal basic income is that you're going to get
Everybody
entire
getting an
income.
extra $500 a month that need it? Not everybody, but people that need it get an extra $500.
Well, we do that.
$1,000 a month?
We do that.
Not
welfare.
Sort of, kind of, but not like this. Not where you just say, hey, in your check every month is an extra $1,000. And if you can keep all of these corporations from stop being greedy and not price gouging and all that other shit, people are really getting some extra money in their pocket. What's wrong
Why
with
don't
that?
you just make sure these corporations pay their fair share and let's see what happens?
Hey,
Why don't you make sure these corporations pay their fair share and let's see what happens?
I am with you 100%. Now, I will say this. 12 hours ago, was this 12 hours ago? 5 a.m. this morning. Republicans reconsider their commitment to tax cuts for the rich in Trump agenda bill. It's an unexpected debate that has emerged as GOP lawmakers look for ways to pay for their massive budget bill. And as the party's electoral coalition shift, Republicans are discussing an idea that has long been, what the fuck is this word? Anathema? What's that mean, Chris? Anthemema? And
I know what you're trying
ANATHEMA?
to say. I can't pronounce it either.
Yes, but it's long been an issue.
Against that, something they've
Yes.
been against.
Long been an issue
Antithetical?
within the party. No, ANATHEMA.
Or I forgot how to say it.
It's long been an issue within the party. And guess what that is?
What?
A tax hike on the wealthy.
Now, here's the thing. This tax hike on the wealthy, this is what's very important because this is all fucking lip service. What does a tax hike on the wealthy mean? You actually don't want to attack the people who are making big income. You don't want to attack LeBron James. You don't want to attack other athletes. By attack, it's a strong word, but those are the people you don't want to target. What you want to do is target the people who aren't making income.
Jeff Bezos.
The loopholes, right? And here's
Elon Musk.
so, but this is what they do. They tell us this shit. Oh, tax hikes on the rich, and it's just like, you know who wants that more than anything? Jeff Bezos, Elon, Zuckerberg. They want that because they know it just goes to me and you. It doesn't go to them because they're not making any income. You have to change tax codes to target people who have mastered the art of hiding their wealth. And they find, dude,
You have a president who's made his entire career.
you're gonna fuck it up, Chris. I'm just telling you, everybody's on board with this, and then you make it about
Well,
one guy.
I'll take it a step
I
further.
just said the other three guys.
Yeah.
I'm not against him. It's
I'm just-
happening for him either. Make it bipartisan.
I'll take
we
it
are
a step
together
further.
in
You
this
said
issue.
don't tax LeBron. That's fine. I would stop. I've always been very against the idea of taxpayers underwriting these sports arenas, right?
Oh.
Tax.
Fuck that
Fuck
shit.
that.
Why do I got to pay
Why-
for the arena?
Why are these guys getting a fucking break?
And I can't even
when
get
they're
free
gonna
tickets
sell-
to a game?
Right.